Things just happen. They happen, and they happen, and they happen. There's no explanation of why or how. It's just that things just kind of happen, and they're not explained. And you can't just do that. Well, well, well. Look who it is. You. Again. Yeah, you. I know who you are. And I also know that you're here, and you're going to watch episode 23 of Summertime Render with me again. Previously, on Summertime Render, Shinpei basically just outmaneuvered Heine and Shide. They had a big fight, and everything was kind of complicated, and you know, they did this and they did that, and a bunch of wasted time doing shit that didn't really matter, with some sort of like, you know, ears ringing thing. But also, it almost seemed like they won the battle, but somehow after the finishing blow, or supposed finishing blow from Shadow Ushio, Heine's eye somehow transferred to Shadow Ushio somehow. They don't want to explain much in this show these days, so I kind of just, you know, go along with shit and take it as it is. Regardless, let's just get into episode 23 of Summertime Render and see, well, where we go from here. Huh? Huh? Now we're talking about power of love? I'm so confused. I'm sure Shida has some sort of, you know, thing that he wants to do, but, like... Also, why is Shinpei even... Like, why is Shinpei even, like, acting like this? Like, bruh. You know? Why are we... This is Heine we're talking about. This is the shadow... The mother of all shadows we're talking about. This is Hiruko. What the fuck are we talking about here? All the other shadows are fighting against fucking Hiruko as well. Why isn't Shinpei getting angry at them? What? Huh? This is some bull. This is some just total bull. Honestly, they should be happy that Shida is like going against the mother of all shadows now. The enemies are killing themselves. That's good. That's fucking good. Kind of. Don't even try to like justify, oh, you know, she's not that bad actually because she has the appearance of a child. Shut the fuck up. Shut the hell up. What the hell was that? The gate to hell. That face. God damn it. What even is this vagina hole here? What are you talking about? Shadow Ushio, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, like, this is one of those things where it's like, they're just kind of throwing things at the wall and hoping that they stick. Like, what is this hole now sucking them in? Where does it go? What? Why did it even open? How does Shide all of a sudden have this power now? I assume, you know, Heine didn't die completely because the shadows are still there. But like what the fuck is going on? Shadow Ushio, by the way. Not the same person, by the way. Not the same person, by the way. I'll keep saying it as many times as I need to. It's not the same person, by the way. Think about it, right? Imagine you have someone you love, like your loved one, right? Your partner. And then this partner has a clone made of herself, right? And the clone is not a perfect copy. It's like the clone has everything that the original does, but also has shadow powers. In other words, like, clearly is not human. You know, they might imitate the appearance and the memories and maybe even the personality, but it's clear that they are not human, right? Maybe they're made of like slime. Yeah, let's say like the clone is basically a slime, right? That's imitating the original. They might even think themselves to be the original or whatever, right? Even though they know that they're not, right? So they're not the same person, and they know that, but they have all the memories, the personality, and the appearance, like slime copy appearance of the original. And then from once the copy, quote-unquote copy, has been made, they live separate lives. Now, the original, your loved one, dies. Would you consider that the slime who has copied your partner, would you assume that that slime is your partner now? Hell fucking no. Hell no. You'd maybe be like, okay, well, I can get along with her because she reminds me of my partner, my dead partner, but you'd be like, this is a different person. This is a slime, right? Like, this is a slime that has copied the appearance of my partner and and her memories and her personality. Like, this is not her. This is not the same person. Even if I were to take out the slime factor, and we just say that there is no shadow powers, it's just a perfect copy. Just a perfect copy, like a clone, complete clone. Even then, I would be hesitant to say that it's the same person. At most, I could give it to you if you said, like, the clone was made at the moment of death, right? So, like, you know, let's say your partner is on her deathbed, and then the clone is made right before she dies, so there's no, like, gap in, like, the memories. So the clone is made right before she dies, and then the original dies, the original body, quote-unquote, dies, and then the clone is born, essentially, at that moment. Then I would say that you can replace the original with the clone. But only if it is just a clone, not a fucking slime person. And so that's kind of how I see it. Like, it's not the original. It's not a replacement. It's not the same person. Like, look, I would actually completely accept it if Shinpei was like, if they had like a whole scene where he says, yeah, I like the original Ushio, but she's gone now. But my feelings toward you, Shadow Ushio, are not the same feelings that I had towards the original. My feelings for you, Shadow Ushio, are like new and like separated from her, right? If they actually made a separation between the original and the Shadow, if they actually made a separation of the characters, then I could be like, okay, well, Shinpei is in love with the shadow Ushio, not the original. Maybe he had feelings for the original, whatever, doesn't matter, she's gone now. Now, Shinpei is into the shadow Ushio. But it's clear that they've basically had the shadow Ushio take the place of the original at this point. What the fuck? That's not how time works. I'm pretty sure, like, that's just not how time works. Unless they are outside of time right now, so for them time still works, but everything else is still. The thing is, in a situation like this, I would not trust anything. I would imagine she's probably still holding the hand. It's just that he can't see her, or like they're on different planes of existence or something like that. I don't know. Pathetic. Get up. Gay? Gay? That's another thing that just, you know, complete bullshit, but okay. So what just happened? See, once again, they introduce some sort of problem, and then they fix the problem by some coincidental, convenient thing that a character can just do all of a sudden. Why are we having this conversation right now? Like, you're on the, like, you're basically like on the last stretch of the show. You're in the climax situation right now. This is not the time to have a conversation like this. This is not the time for a light-hearted conversation. You're in the middle of a fucking alternate dimension, and shit is very dangerous, and you just lost your biggest ally. You have no idea what the fuck is going on. You're lost. You don't know how to get home. You don't know where your enemy is that you chased into this dimension or whatever. Your lover, I guess, that you love, has just disappeared. She's somewhere nearby somehow, but like you don't know where she is. Everything is fucked essentially, and you're having a peaceful conversation while just strolling through the forest. Like, what? A character, if they've lost a loved one, is not going to celebrate a birthday party the next day. They are going to be sad and depressed, right? Continuity. You cannot just... You can't just have this conversation in this situation. You could have had this conversation, I would say, like, put this conversation like 2 episodes ago when they were on the beach, when they had just merged, right? You could have had that conversation there, not now. Holy fuck, skip, bro, skip. It's moving on its own. One of 2 possibilities. 1, she's in the ball, or 2, you just can't see her. So something invisible to you is moving the ball. So they're just following a rolling ball. Okay.
この先牛尾の自我が消滅し、ハイネが現れるようなことになれば、私が殺す。だがもしも私がいなければ、龍之介、お前が約束を果たしたまえよ。
新平、撃つよ、撃つ。待って、龍之介君、なんか言ってる。
やから、龍君、この子は違う。龍君を殺した悪いハイネじゃない。
Right.
あの時、ハイネの自我は分裂したんよ。そんで、人間の女の子、ハイネとヒールことに別れたんや。ハイネが話したいって、聞いちゃってくれる
？This is some extreme convenience. And half the time I just don't understand what the fuck is going on anymore. So how, like, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, how the fuck did she even get there? You know, why was Ushio in this little town, and why were they separated in the first place? How did this personality, this version of the personality or whatever, end up inside Shadow Ushio? Like, all these, like, you know, it's just, I have no idea. There's like no, I don't know if continuity is the right word or not, but like, that's like what I want to say. There's no continuity. There's no, like, one thing leads to another and it makes sense. This is more like one thing happens and then another thing happens, but how did the second thing happen? Well, I mean, no explanation. You know, it's a little like, there's no flow to the story. It's just, things just happen.
詩での中身をスキャンした時に飛び込んできた思考。あいつは世界を殺すつもり。
Of course, it always comes down to that, doesn't it?
を切るみたいにプツンって。その後の世界がない。ほんまの終わり。
Unfortunate, you know, that of course, a show like this would obviously have a villain that just wants to destroy the world. Why? Why not, right? Why the fuck not? So why is all of this happening? Who knows? And if you said, like, oh, you know, Shida is making this happen, then it's like, okay, but how? Because I would say, like, both Shadow Ushio and Shinpei should be more powerful than Shide at this point, especially in this plane of existence, considering they have the eyes. Or at least, you know, one each, I guess. Shide doesn't have anything. Real question is, like, how the fuck did they even get here, right? Wasn't the whole point of them getting here, you know, coming back to Hiroko's home or whatever, wasn't the whole point of Haine and Shide, you know, killing at the festival to get enough power for them to go home, which is here, apparently? But they didn't do that, right? And then Shide somehow, like, opened the portal here anyway? I don't know. I don't know.
私には何も届きません。死を這うナメクジどもがどうあがいてもね。牛尾ちゃん、君を黒焦げのだるまにしてからその目もらうか。
ヒルコ様を消すんじゃ。常世とて今の牛尾なら消せるはず。ヒルコ様が消えれば常世も消え、現世に帰れるじゃろう。上等じゃ。
どんなにいたても死にゃしません。お前の苦しみが奴らの苦しみになるんですよ。
シデや、あいつが無理やり。
No, he's forcing her. Yeah, sure, bro.
シデを倒すにはまずハッキングで鎧を消す、次に中身を殺す、2手必要や。でもそれじゃ初手の直後に牛尾がやられてまう。
いや、死なんで私は。ミオからもろた。
Again, Shadow Ushio, by the way. Not the real one, by the way.
全部終わらせる。
And it's like, you know, Shinpei is saying, like, oh, it'll get Ushio killed. But, like, she'll die anyway, remember? When they achieve their goal, their objective, which is to kill Hiruko, she'll die anyway. Supposedly. That's crazy, bro. No idea what just happened. Good question, bro.
風習の記憶が消されたのか。
を通じて鎧を遠隔操作してるんや。中身がないんやったらどうしようもない。
シデの鎧は今どうなってる？
私が消した左半身はそのままや。
それなら鎧を全て消しきれば勝てる。牛尾
Okay, she just passed out. Again, like, what? Why did she pass out all of a sudden? Things just happen. They happen, and they happen, and they happen without any real explanation. They explain some things here and there. This show, or at least the way this show is written, reminds me of essentially like a writer who's trying to who comes up with ideas on the fly, and then they try to shoehorn all their ideas into the story, regardless of whether or not it makes sense. Or like, they might think that it makes sense, but for the audience, like, there's no explanation of why it even happened. Anybody can write a story saying like, there existed a guy that was living his ordinary life until one day he went to a bank, right? He was trying to withdraw some money, and then all of a sudden, a bank robber walks in. And the bank robber tells everybody to get on the ground. And everyone got in the ground, and then the bank robber starts robbing the bank. The main character sees an opening to potentially fight the bank robber. So he takes it. They get into a scuffle, but all of a sudden, a massive bus just crashes into the bank. Bang! The back doors of the bus open. A group of highly armed, like Delta Force guys run out, take over the scene, and arrest both the protagonist and the bank robber, right? And then as they're loading them onto the bus to take them in, all of a sudden, the roof of the bank is blown apart by aliens, right? And then these aliens basically start a firefight against the Delta Force team. And then all of a sudden, you know, as these two sides are fighting, right? Then there's this moment where one of the Delta Force guys is about to die, and then by one of the aliens, and then a sniper from like 1,000 meters away shoots a sniper bullet perfectly that kills the alien to save the Delta Force guy, right? And then the Delta Force guy is like, oh my god, John, is that you? I thought you died 10 years ago. I can't believe you came to help me. Right? And then as the battle continues and the Delta Force guys are starting to die basically to the aliens, right? All of a sudden, a fleet of other ships comes out of hyperspace. That's basically what this show is, where things just happen. There's no explanation of why or how. It's just that things just kind of happen and they're not explained. Now that example that I just gave, something like that could work in a kind of like balls to the wall kind of crazy storyline, something like Gurren Lagann, for instance, where they just kind of throw everything at it and it's so crazy and not explained that it just kind of works, right? Because they don't take themselves seriously. They're not trying to tell some sort of coherent, cohesive story, or maybe they are, but like they're not trying so hard to explain everything, and they know it, and they kind of show the audience that as well. But here they are trying to tell a story, but things just keep happening that they don't explain, and you can't just do that. But that's just my opinion. Regardless, that was episode 23 of Summertime Rendered. There's 2 episodes to go, surprisingly, still. I actually thought it was the second to last episode, but I guess not. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. And until then, I shall see you later.